Welcome to the Toffee TV podcast, episode 20, I think. It's me, Ped, it's Baz. Andy couldn't make it today.
No.
So we were like, who should we get? That we can replace Andy with? So we got Super Kevin Campbell.
Yeah, I mean,
all the way from London, you got me today.
As you do.
So we got Super Kevin. Andy will love that, won't he? He will absolutely.
Well, Kev was just saying how much he likes XG and
stats
and
XG. What are your thoughts on XG, Kev?
Don't talk to me about stats. Forget stats. Forget it. XG. Keep it. Put it in the bin.
There you go.
False. A lot of it's false.
Yeah.
False numbers.
There's a place for stats, but it doesn't be hard work, does it?
Here's a stat for you.
Go on.
Now, most of the teams in the division who has most of the possession lose.
Yeah. There you go.
That's the only stat you need.
That's the only stat you need. So, all these stats about possession and passes and all this kind of thing are only the top teams. Fair enough, the top teams who can hurt teams. But most of the other teams who counter them, win. Yeah. So, forget the stats. Win. Put the ball in the net. We talk after.
With 93 minutes gone of Everton versus Newcastle, Everton's stats were amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. And then on the 94th minute, it didn't really matter. Because it was 2-2, so let's have a little chat about that. Baz, Everton versus Newcastle.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the first 93 minutes?
Yeah, if you want.
Because the first 93 minutes were probably one of our best performances of the season.
Yeah, definitely. It was up there with the West Ham performance at home. Better, I thought, because we just controlled it. They weren't a threat to us at all. Coming off not a disappointing draw at West Ham, but coming off a game where, maybe if we'd have pushed on a little bit at West Ham, we could have won there. You're looking at the Newcastle game thing. Well, if we win this, 4 points from the last 6, decent, up to 8th, because that's where we could have gone to if we'd have won. And for 93 minutes, we'd had a goal for Moise Keane, which was fantastic. Yeah. Another goal for Dom, which is what we all want. Yeah. And you're looking at it thinking, this is brilliant. I can see what Carlo's doing. Everyone's on it. Everyone's concentrating. Yeah. The lad actually sat next to me, got off at 92.40. He went, what a win. See you next time. I was like, see you, and
so it's his fault.
So it's his fault. I'm blaming him. And I will be telling you, be watching, Andy, it's your fault.
It's your fault, Andy. Yeah.
Let's try and stick to the positives.
Yeah.
2 goals for our centre forwards, Kev. How important is that? Because we talk about it every week, and I always want Dom to score. I really wanted Moise Keane. I mean, how important do you think, just for Moise Keane start, first of all, how important is that to get your first goal?
Look, Ped, for his confidence, look, he's been through some tough times at Everton, and some of them is not through his own doing, but he's gone through a tough time, and his confidence has taken a bit of a bashing. But to score the first goal at the Gladys Street end, you could see the weight was lifted off him. Yeah. The fans all loved it. He loved it. Done his celebration, and then you started to see a player. You started to see the player that the money was paid for him, and he grew. I thought he grew, and he played really well. Linked up well with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dominic Calvert-Lewin as a number 9, put that number 9 on his shirt, backed himself, scores again. Everton are cruising. Got a front 2 who were causing Newcastle all sorts of problems. At the back, Everton was solid. Didn't look like they were going to concede. And, it's great to see a front 2. Yeah. I love seeing a front 2. Yeah. I love partnerships. And that partnership, I think if it can be worked on and it can be developed, could be a big partnership to come.
Have you ever gone, where would you say in your career you've ever had that delay? Because at Everton you scored in your first game, didn't you? So
no, I didn't.
Was it not first game?
No. My first game was the derby. Was the derby. We lost our first 2 games, and then it was
Coventry at home.
Then it was Coventry at home, and then it started going on from there.
Have you ever had that though, where you've gone into a season and it's been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah, well, of course it's. Look, to get off the mark as a striker is everything. Yeah. Because once you get off the mark, you can settle down then. Yeah. You really can settle down and say, right, I've got my goal and blah, blah, blah. But when it doesn't go in, people start checking you out because whether you like it or not, as a striker, everybody always says to you, did you score? Yeah. How many goals you got as a striker? Because you can't give it, like the stat man would say, oh, I've retained it this many times and, I've done all this, but this and that. people don't want to hear it.
No.
As fans, you want to know my strikers are scoring.
Yeah.
And, it's essential that strikers score goals. And that's what we need. And it's great for the front two to score. It's great for the front two to play well. It's great for the team to be functioning and progressing. No, the result didn't go as well as planned, but you can start to see the Carlo Ancelotti influence now on the team, controlling the games a little bit better now and stuff like that. So, listen, I was impressed with Everton the other day. I know the result didn't go, but I was impressed the way they played.
Yeah, we've got to take that away from it, haven't we? We've got to take that 93 minutes and just say what happened in that last minute was a complete freak. And if we can work on that side of things,
that won't happen again.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, the things that happened in that, for them to score the 2 goals, that's Sunday League stuff, that's schoolboy stuff, isn't it? That it's not even, you don't have to work on it, do you? You just need someone to give you a good bollocking at the end of the day, really.
It won't happen again, I could guarantee you that. Because the moment that happens and it's that late, you bet your bottom dollar it's either going to be going back to Pickford or it's going in the corner out where they can squeeze the opposition and keep them in.
Yeah.
Never going to happen
What
again.
do you think, Baz? I mean, we played well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have called the subs into question. Do you think Carlo will learn from those subs in terms of like who not to put on the pitch and who to put on the pitch rather than what the subs themselves? He made the subs. He's done that last couple of games. People have gone, not sure if I get that, but it's Carlo Ancelotti, for God's sake. Who are we? Certainly me and you. Kev maybe. But certainly me and you, we're just mere mortals. But do you think now he'll go, I can't put him on anymore in that situation?
I don't know, because I don't know whether he'll contribute it to, attribute it rather to what happened, the subs. I just thought, me and Kev, we've done a video before and we were talking about when Garner left and could we get a like for like in, and when you're taking Bernard off the other night, who was running the game, he must have, whether he thought he was tired, I don't know. But then you put Tom Davies on, who's not that kind of player. It unbalanced us, and the subs themselves are 3 decent players, but 2.5 decent players. Umar tries his best, but he's not for me, he's not a Premier League striker. But when you change the shape of the team, it allowed Newcastle to come up 10 yards, and I think if he would have put Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side, I think he would have ran Newcastle and they would have been worried about him going the other way. But Tom Davies, they were never worried about him going that way. And Tom himself isn't playing in form. So I think he struggled on the left at Man City, and I think when he put him on the other night, he struggled on the left. So maybe Carlo will look and as we get players back, maybe his subs will be different anyway.
Is that as a player, do you ever you must have had those games where you're on top and you look over to the manager and think, we could win this 4 or 5-0. Why are you making like defensive changes that go the other way?
Played under George Graham.
Yeah, I mean, under the funny thing under George Graham was this: whenever we took the lead with that back 5, goalkeeper in the back 4, we knew as long as we keep it tight, more likely than not we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
And if George Graham, and this is the thing about George Graham, he's so. Some of these guys, when you're successful, you think as a fan they diver. They don't diver.
Yeah.
He's obviously seen something. He might have heard Steve Bruce say something on the touchline, or they might have made an adjustment where the way Bernard's playing is great, but they've now made an adjustment. So when he moves in, they're going to start utilising that player. Yeah. So Tom, I want you to come on and just nullify that. Yeah. And if when the substitution was made, and that maybe moves Newcastle 10 yards up the pitch, Newcastle still never created anything.
That's the thing.
They're never creating anything. And could Everton really have gone on and put them to the sword? Yes, you could have. But if you do that, and then you concede, and then you concede again.
It gets cold.
Then you, as the fans, you go, we're 2-0 up. Why are we?
Why are we chasing it?
It goes either way. It's a tough one. But look, Carlo Ancelotti, he's probably put Davis on for a reason.
Yeah, of course.
To do something there to nullify. If I nullify, we win the game. And it was a freak. It was a freak. 2 goals in injury time. So
I didn't put it down to the actual making of the subs. I just wonder whether Carlo will just now go, it might be better to not put that player on and bring another player. But the options are so limited at Everton at the moment.
Well, you mentioned Anthony Gordon. Now, maybe in hindsight, he might have put Anthony Gordon on and told him, look, I want you to sit, But as soon as we get it, son,
off you go.
Off you go. Because I still want to keep that threat.
Yeah.
Remember, Carlo Ancelotti's learning about the Premier League again.
Yeah.
Because when he was here before, it's evolved. It's changed again now. So, you get that guy who can do the work, but you still need to be a threat if you're playing in that position.
But what you said before, Kev, is right when you think about it. They put Kraft, is it? Who the lad that played right wing back at the weekend against Chelsea, they put him on on the right hand side, and they pushed Hayden inside. So maybe
that adjustment,
to counter it and gone
and
put Tom Davis
what
there.
you just said, about learning thing. That would have been Anthony Gordon's first Premier League appearance at Goodison, wouldn't it?
He played. He come on against Leicester, didn't he?
So the emotion, 2-0 up, motion of coming on late on, it might, for all we know, he might have looked at him and gone, no, we'll use him for another day.
I can look in hindsight and go, oh, I wouldn't have done that because I'd have done this. I mean, I can say with hindsight that I could have said it at 7:30. I wouldn't have put the ass on, honestly. but 93 minutes, Kev said, the job was done. The subs hadn't really affected it anyway. It was just done. It's when you're looking back and you go, we had a breakaway 2v2 in injury time at Nias and Calvert-Lewin, and he fell over. Yeah. When he had the whole pitch to run into him, you're like, how have you fallen over? There's no one there. Things like that. But at the time, we went on another minute and a half after that. It wasn't he knocked it back and he scored. But it was just a freak, like you say.
But that's what fans do.
Yeah,
don't we? We do that because we attribute, that to that to that, and it doesn't really marry, but it's the substitutions or whatever.
It's something you're trying to balance in your mind. That's all.
Exactly,
it is,
because because it's painful.
Yeah,
it's painful to concede like that. But again, this is football, and it only takes a second to score. And as soon as they score,
the panic,
the anxiety kicks in. And it's just for the team not to be as anxious.
What? Sorry, can I?
Go on.
What did you make of Carlo after the game? Just saying, listen, not concentrating on the last minute. We were excellent for 93 minutes as a player because. We spoke to Duncan Ferguson as well, and he said he came in after it and just went, listen, you played great there. The last minute, we haven't won the game, but concentrate on how good your performance. As a player, is that what would you take from that? The frustration would be there, obviously.
Yeah, the frustration's there, but you know what? He's the man at the helm, and to hear how confident and calm he is, and to actually call it like it is, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because Everton were the better team. Everton were good. They did play well. And they controlled the game all game. Mm-hmm. It's just that at the end, it kind of went a little bit pear-shaped. But you've got to take the positive out of it. The team played great. Our front two scored. There's a lot of pluses. Bernard, I thought, played really well as well. There's a lot of good that happened. So don't just for that minute, look at the minute or a couple of minutes and think. And that was the be all and end all because there was a lot of positives to take out of it. And his job is to get the team consistent. Yeah. To get them performing consistent. And if they're going to play 93 minutes like that every week, I'm sure Evertonians will be happier because they know what to expect.
Yeah. And we'll win.
You'll win more games than definitely. 100%.
You mentioned the front two there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin of recent. Well, since Duncan really got more control of his career, really. Yeah. He's been fantastic. He's got the number 9 shirt. When you look at him now, people are starting to talk about England. How far do you think he can go, and what have you made of his last couple of months?
No, I think he can. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think his rise this season, since when Fergie took over, the key element was a front two. That's the key because he's played as a sole striker before. And he's willing, he's a fit lad, he runs about, and probably he's doing a lot of work, unsung work. But when you do a lot of that work on your own, getting into the box, you can't get into the box, so you need somebody else to get in the box. But if you've got that number 9 on your back, you're the one who's supposed to be in the box. Yeah. So, and when they played, I think it was played Arsenal last season, I was talking to him on the pitch side, and I said to him, Dominic, great play, good hold-up play and everything, but, once you play that ball wide, you've got to make it, you've got to get in that box because that's where you're going to score your goals. And he's doing that now. He's done it against Burnley at home on Boxing Day. Great header, flash header into the corner. And he's done it at Newcastle, done it at West Ham, and he's getting in the box and he's getting on the end of things. That's a striker. Yeah. Now, under Fergie's given him the confidence.
Yeah.
You could see his confidence is high, and because he's playing with somebody else, you know, that workload is shared now. So he's not as knackered. He can get in the box now. Because let me tell you, playing up front on your own is a hard shift. And he's done it well, not scored the goals, but not really got the plaudits for the way he's playing. But now he's got somebody to share it with. He's getting the goals. He's playing well. He'll start getting the plaudits. And why not England?
Yeah.
Why not give him a goal? Because there's a few injuries up there. Give him a goal. Young player, you never know.
The stupid thing was when he was playing up on his own, and when any Everton player is playing on his own, we don't have a midfielder who breaks into the box like a Cahill or a Lampard from back in the day, or whoever the modern equivalent is. So for him to do all that hard work was going completely wasted, other than Richarlison, who's been the only one, really, isn't it? So I just think he's come on leaps and bounds. I've always felt like it was there, but I think the thing that's been added as well is aggression. He's just more aggressive now, isn't he? We used to always say about him. I've always really liked him, but he was a bit of a pussycat. He wasn't willing to just
get stuck in.
It's someone for the sake of hitting them. Yeah, it was like if you went in for a 50-50, he'd leave a bit on them. But it was, no, leave a bit on them for the sake of leaving a bit on them.
I said to my son, do it before they do it to you.
Yeah.
Get aggressive, do it to... And it's quite ironic. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is no longer passive.
Yeah.
Once Fergie got hold of him.
Yeah.
Because once Fergie's the man at the helm, he can dictate.
Say,
listen, because the first game was Chelsea that Fergie took over.
Yeah.
And that was
Leeds Zuma.
Yeah, that was a blueprint of how Everton not only play front foot football, but get the 12th man involved. Because once you get that crowd involved, it makes it so difficult for the opposition teams coming to Goodison Park. It really does.
Was there a stage in your career as well, because I think this is the same for Dom, when at Arsenal, where you suddenly went from being a young up-and-coming player to feeling part of the first team? Because I think that's a big thing for Dom. Now, I look at him, and if someone put the captain's armband on him, it wouldn't bother me, because he exudes that now that he's a first team.
He's confident.
Same with Mason Holgate as well. They exude first team confidence now. Did you get that moment at Arsenal when there was a switch, or was it always there?
Well, the crazy thing when you play at Arsenal was, I made my debut at Goodison Park and got on the pitch for 12 minutes, but I'd been training with the first team for such a long time, and the training was so intense that I felt part of it. I never once feel like, oh, I'm a first team player now. I always knew I was going to get there because I was training with them all the time. The manager, go on loan. So I went on loan at Leyton Orient, came back. Next season, go on loan at Leicester. Went on loan at Leicester, came back. And then he said to me, "You're ready." And I'm thinking to myself, I know I'm ready. I know I'm ready. So to get in the team and to make a difference at the back end of that season and win the first title was fantastic for me at 21 years old. That was brilliant, But I never ever felt, I've arrived now. But because I've always felt, this is what I do.
But did you feel or ever feel like you needed to convince the fans that you were part of that? Not personally with the players around you who like you say, you're training every day, but Arsenal fans, I feel, are a bit like Evertonians.
Yeah,
they're demanding.
They can be. Yeah,
they're demanding.
Look, they're both big clubs, huge clubs, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with goal scorers and strikers, etc. But I think all the fans knew, because how it works, as you know, you just get the programs, didn't you? You get the programs and look at the youth section and what's happening. Yeah. And my name was always in the youth section, and then they said, Campbell, and then they start seeing you sparingly in pre-season. You're scoring in pre-season. Bloody hell, this Campbell's he's raw, but he's good. He's good. Yeah. And then next minute they see you on the subs bench, and then they see you go on loan and you're scoring on loan, and they see you do. So the fans kind of knew, well, he's done. This guy can do it. And they knew. They were thinking, we want to see him. Not can he do it. We want to see him play. Let's get him in and give him a go. And it kind of worked out because we had a good side at Arsenal at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. So it kind of helped. It kind of helped me. Yeah. But going back to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think what Fergie done for him, you're right. Give him that confidence, because you need to have that little bit of air of confidence and arrogance, kind of that. yeah, I'm a first team player, and I can wear this number 9 shirt, and I can lead this club forward. I can do it. And I think that's what happened when he put him up top with another player, with Richarlison, against Chelsea. And they bullied Chelsea. And he got the goals. And then you think, if I could do that against Chelsea,
I can do it again.
I could do it against anybody.
Yeah.
And that's where he's kicked on now, and he's loving it. I'm sure he's loving it. And, you know, now is the consistency part.
Yeah.
Because that's the key. But I think as long as he's got another partner up there with him, I think he'll do well.
I think his work rate's never been in question. It was always about just getting that little bit of a flourish, and he's starting to finish really well. His goal against Newcastle was superb. So well taken.
My criticism of him was, and it was what you were saying before, was he was never in the right area.
Yeah.
I want him, and one of his favourite goals this season for me was Man City at home.
Yeah.
And he headed it an inch from the line.
Yes.
Because he showed, listen, I played up front, and you were, had Rob goals.
Yeah,
It's about, you said before, it's about
It's
goals.
about goals. Whatever anybody says, at the end of the day, you look at your strikers and you say, how many goals has he scored? It's one thing, like when Sharpie and Lineker or whatever played, and Sharpie's the foil.
Yeah.
Then you understand, right, one's not going to score as many goals because he's making sure his partner... I get
you
that.
were the same with Jeffers, right?
I was the same with Jeffers. I was the same with Wrighty. I was the same. But you've got to play that foil. One player has to be a foil for the other. And I believe Richarlison is a foil when he plays because Calvert-Lewin now has got the confidence. Moise Keane, he can do both.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about these two. They both can hold it up. They both could hunt space. So I think it's exciting.
Yeah, it's good. I'd rather be talking about that than the other stuff, but... Moise Keane, he had a great game, I thought. Although once he was hungry from the start. He got a shot off. The keeper parried it, and that to me was the sign that he was up for it. And once he got that goal, we'd already seen it, hadn't we, in the game. Once he got that goal, there was no stopping him.
Yeah.
And the crowd got behind though as well.
That's right.
And it's funny because they've had, when you look at both strikers. Whereas Duncan, I remember at Old Trafford, Duncan at the end of the game, all the fans were singing his name, and Duncan was pointing at Dominic Calvert and going, no, sing his name.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, you had Moise Keane coming off after 18 minutes. And yet, in this game, both of them playing up front, both of them have come at it from completely different directions. But it felt like something was there, and it felt like suddenly we had, with Richarlison as well, we've got a couple of options. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, next game, Moise Keane's going to do it again. But I think what he's got now is the bit between his teeth and the belief from the fans, knowing that the fans are behind him. Because after Old Trafford, it was, how could you do that? How could you take a player off? The media all criticising Duncan. Italian press saying you need to get him back. I think Mancini got involved, didn't he? Saying, get him to an Italian club and he'll be in the Euros. Whereas Carlos just come in with that calmness and gone, no, he'll play games. Don't you worry. We've got the... First thing he said was, I wanted him at Napoli, and I thought, that's a masterstroke.
Brilliant.
Just before you go on to that masterstroke, just on the Old Trafford thing, he come on for 18 minutes. He clearly wasn't doing what Duncan had asked him to do, and Duncan made the decision to take him off again. To kill a bit of time as well, but he took him off. I mean, it's harsh. It's harsh, but did you think the criticism was overboard about Duncan doing that, or what?
I look at this in two ways, to be honest, because Fergie is trying to get. We're winning at the time, and he's trying to get a win, or whether they've just equalised or whatever. He's trying to nullify a Manchester United team at Old Trafford, so we can get something from the game. I think that's. For Fergie, that's the most important thing, is to get points on the board. You want to get a point. If you can't win, don't lose.
Yeah.
And obviously, Moise Keane's come on and he's not done what he wanted. Could you have taken somebody else off to save the kid? But sometimes you don't. Fergie hasn't got the experience, kind of.
Yeah.
He didn't have the experience. It was only his second game. So he done what come into his head first. Right, I'll get him off and I'll get somebody else on who's going to do the job I want. He made the decision. Fair enough. It's not a right or wrong decision. He's made the decision. Out of that decision, Fergie was right because Everton got the point.
Yeah.
But Moise Keane obviously felt it because it was like a slap in the face to him because he'd come on and he's willing, he wants to do well, etc. So I think the criticism was unfair in a sense to Fergie because he's only a manager trying to get the best result he can, and that's and then sometimes you have to upset people, and sometimes people are going to get upset, but ultimately it's the team that matters, the football club.
What would you, if that was you, would that make you? Because people will go, that's him done now. Moise Keane, he can't recover. Would that make you think there's no point here, or would that make you think I'm when training tomorrow, I'm gonna show you?
You know, I look at this in two ways. I don't know Moise Keane. And what he was walking off, he was upset. You could see he was upset, genuinely upset. And I don't know what Fergie said to him in the dressing room or what. I've no idea. But I thought this is either going to go one of two ways here. It's either he's going to be done, he's finished, he's probably going to jump in a taxi and leave. Do you know what I mean? Or he's going to consolidate himself, he's going to listen to what's being said, and he's going to knuckle down and pull his sleeves up. And I would love it to be the latter, but I thought it could be done. I honestly thought, you know what, he's probably thinking, that's an embarrassment to me, and I'm going to be gone. But credit to him, fair play to him, he's rolled his sleeves up, got stuck in. Carlo Ancelotti comes in, obviously, and starts turning the ship and winning him back. And he's won him over. And you could see he's filled in with a bit of confidence now, because he's playing with a bit of confidence. Got his first goal in front of Gladys Street. Didn't get the win, but he played like a first team player. Played like, right, he's starting to get it now. I think he's going to go on from strength to strength.
The thing, Duncan 3 days later put him on at half time though against Leicester, and it kind of killed that story. Stone dead at half. We're getting beat at half time. Keane come on. He actually done all right. And he's shown in flashes. He started down at Newcastle when we won 2-1, and he was good for an hour. He wasn't great, but there was flashes in that where he nearly scored. And then he's out the team again. He's back in, but the other night you're absolutely right.
He put it all together, didn't he? Everything kind of fitted in and put it all together. Look, he's still young as well. We've got to take that into consideration. He's good money for a youngster, obviously, to get him in. Carlo Ancelotti knows him. He knows I wanted you at Napoli. And that's a masterstroke. That is the masterstroke. So now he's got Richarlison on side. He's got Calvert-Lewin on side. He's got Moise Keane on side. They're the ones you want on side, because they're the match winners. They're the ones who are going to put that ball in the net. And the more goals they can score together, the better.
And they're all 19, 22 and 23,
aren't they? That's right. They're all under 25.
Yeah, they're all kids.
They're all babies. They're babies, and they're all... You're getting players now who are future-proofing the club. I think that's important. Developing these guys, I think Carlo Ancelotti can do it. Like we mentioned earlier, Baz, that if he can get a couple of players in this window, in that central midfield, and maybe another striker, but even a couple of players for that central midfield, needs a box-to-box player, needs a player who's going to run beyond the strikers, because that in itself puts the opposition on the back foot big time, and especially at Goodison. Need someone who can score goals running in behind that front, boys.
You hold that thought, because after the break we're going to come back and we're going to talk about signings. We'll be right back.
Thanks for downloading the Toffee TV podcast, but did you know we put all our shows out as podcasts? Head over to patreon.com/Toffee TV EFC and you'll find all the latest shows available as podcasts exclusively for Patreon subscribers. So if you need to find all the latest Everton news, conversations, stats, match previews and match reviews as easily downloadable podcasts at your convenience, head over to Patreon.
Welcome back, second part of the Toffee TV podcast. We're joined by Kevin Campbell, Super Kevin Campbell. The last person to score a winning goal at Anfield. I know you don't want that, do you?
I want it.
Yeah, we've changed.
Me and Baz have changed the mindset. Look, every time I say I don't want it,
okay,
it goes pear-shaped. Right. So I want it.
Okay. Keep it, Kev.
I want it for another 20 years. Yeah. Hopefully it'll spin the other way now.
But Dom scored. He's the first number 9 since. I think has he scored more goals than the last? He scored the most since you scored as a number 9.
Fantastic.
One way or another.
So there is still the powers in that number 9.
There is always the power. No, the problem has been it's not the powers of the number 9. They just give it to loads of crap players, Kev. They didn't hold it back. Like, you got it. Like, This is what I loved.
I wanted it.
Yeah, but it was there for you. It was the same when Duncan came in. It was the same for Duncan. It was just there.
It was
and
there.
It was just there for you. Unfortunately, it was there for Kone and Sandro too. Which, I know you're not. No, but
Kev doesn't have to get involved in that.
no,
we
but,
can say
but
it.
there plays who. I like the fact that Dom's got the number 9, but he started as like the number 29, and then has worked his way to number 9, and that's what it should have been. We've give it to average players who've got no right to have it, and should have worked towards it. It should be that, and it was for a while. It was just left, but we just give it to it. It should be.
The other thing, though, as well, what I would say as well is that the system we've played hasn't helped our strike. It didn't help. We had Romelu Lukaku, who was a 20-goal season striker. He should have been number 9, and he should have had. If we'd have played 2 up front with Rom, I think Everton would have been incredible. Because, like you said before, and we said it so many times, we were just isolated him. He was on his own for so many times, and his hold-up play wasn't great.
Playing with back to goal.
Yeah.
You see, and that's where I say about the foil. If Romelu Lukaku had a foil, somebody who was good at getting hold of the ball and being able to set back so you can release him over the top or through balls, he would have got 40.
Yeah, he was because you're great goal.
He would have got 40.
Just over a week till the transfer window shut, and it's funny. Because this is the first transfer window I can remember for a very long, not for a couple of years, where we're not sitting here going, we need a striker. Well, I think we're quite content with what we've got up front of the moment.
We've got 3 good lads up front. We really have them. We've got players come in who, Walcott can play. I know we wouldn't play him through the middle, but he's an attacking play. We've got a Wobie. So Anthony Gordon now's broke into the 18, so that's good because he's an attacker. So you're right, I think, for as long as I can remember, it's always, or certainly for about the last 20 years, it's always been, can we get another striker in?
Someone who can put the ball away.
Well, we got you in when we were in desperate need, and it should never be forgotten.
Thank God there wasn't a transfer window then.
I know. Well, he come in the time.
Remember, it was the March. Remember, it was the March window.
Yeah. So, we just want to say thank you to Kevin for keeping Everton in the Premier League, because single-handedly, I know he'll say he didn't.
No.
Single-handedly, 9 goals in 8 games kept us up, regardless of what you say.
Team effort.
It was, but
someone's got to put it in, but it's always a team effort, always. And thanks to you guys for all the support, and all the Evertonians out there. I'll still love you, and I still look out for you always.
We love you.
So, where would you be looking at, Kev, for Everton? Because do you think there's a desperate need to bring in someone in? Because
yes,
he's answered the first question.
Yes,
but the league table. It's so mad, isn't it?
It's wide open now.
Liverpool, but everyone,
right? We do that, right? Everton needs somebody, because the league is so topsy-turvy now. Yeah. This is why you need somebody in, because when you're back to back win, you move up, you shift, and that's what you want. Everton finished like a train at the back end of last season. Carlo Ancelotti's in now. Get 1 or 2 in, and get that train moving up the table, and all of a sudden you're looking down at other teams, as opposed to looking up thinking, oh, we should be up there, we've got enough play, and then the quality will start to come out. Everyone feels confident because you're playing from a position of strength.
I remember telling Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV the year Leicester, we did a transfer deadline day, and it was the year Leicester won the league, and we were chatting on deadline day, and I was like, if you went out and bought a striker now, you would win the league. And he was like, I don't know. I was like, no,
bang on.
There was a couple of funny enough, I think Aubameyang was available then,
and if they would have got him, Arsenal
go and get him. And he was like, I'm not sure. I was, no, it's right, you're right there to take them.
We've done a few transfer windows with Robbie, and Arsenal were the only team not to get in, and we were saying you're standing still, and it's shown up now. And Everton, I think you're right. I think it's difficult to buy in this window unless you're going to spend silly money. But we were talking before, weren't we, about midfield, central midfield, and there's got to be players that
you can loan,
top
you can
clubs,
get loans.
a loan.
You can get a lot. I'll tell you what, you can go and get loans, loan to buy. So that means you can try it.
Yeah.
Why not try it? Get a couple in, or get 3 players in, and you could slowly work them into the system and slowly let them understand what the Premiership's about and Everton's about, because they've got quality. You want quality players to come in and make a difference.
Yeah, I think next week's going to be. I think there's going to be a few names getting knocked about, because With us going into a Euros as well, there's going to be a few players playing at big clubs. Obviously, we've had the likes of Rabiot, Emre Can, but he looks like he's going to Germany now. Who they want to get back into the international scene, but they're not playing for their team. You look at Everton and go, well, whatever. I'll be playing football every week, and I get a chance to impress.
And it's the Premier League.
It's the Premier League. So
it's everywhere, yeah.
For me, it's definitely got to be a centre midfielder. I think if we can get a centre midfielder, box to box, strong, athletic, can get up the pitch in as few steps as possible, because all ours seem to be tiny and it takes them ages. And if we can get one of them and who can really get hold of the ball, I think we'll see even more of those forward players.
Big time, I think so too. I really think Everton have to make a move. I really think, and you know what? A lot of the time, Everton have been reactive, an injury or something, and then they go and get something. But I think it's time to be proactive. Carlo Ancelotti, I'm sure, is looking at what he's got and he's thinking, do you know what? I really could do with, and it might be somebody who we say a big player who's going to go box to box. It might be a ball player who's really creative. Either way, you're going to get more out of the front boys. You're going to get more out of Richarlison. You're going to get more out of so many of the forward players that I think Everton cannot afford not to do it. And that's the difference. Can they do it? Maybe. But I don't think Everton can afford not to go and get somebody.
If you're a player sat at a club and you're on the bench, whatever, you're not really getting in and you're hoping to make your national side, and Carlo Ancelotti comes calling, you know, it's one thing, Marcos, you know, without being disrespectful to Marco Silva, but Marco Silva's Everton coming and you look and go, well, yeah, all right, it's the Premier League, but Carlo Ancelotti, even if it's just for, like you said, for 4 months, even if they go, listen, I'm not sure whether I want to commit here, but I'll come and play for you for 4 months. You're one of the best.
I'll give it a try. Exactly, I'll give it a try, and I'd love to work with you, Carlo. Because that's what they're going to do. Gets me playing, and it gets me in contention for the Euros. Hey, let's do it.
Let's have a go.
You know, let's have a go. So I honestly think Carlo Ancelotti, behind that calm exterior, he's a ruthless man. He knows what he wants. He knows what he needs, and I believe there's going to be some movement by the end.
I think as well, we've heard from his comments as well, haven't we? He says, the team are not playing the way I want. I want them going forward. Stop passing backwards. And we've seen that from our midfielders. Every time we get the ball, they haven't got the confidence in themselves to turn and look the other way. And when you've got a Richarlison in front of you, or a Moise Kean, or a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or a Bernardo, or whoever, you've got options, but it's getting the ball from the back four into midfield and then turning it round. And if we could get that kind of player...
And that's why Iwobi, obviously he's been injured. That's what his forte is. His forte is getting between the lines, getting the ball and turning and looking forward. And some balls don't go where they're supposed to, but he's a risk taker. And you need a risk taker at the top end of the pitch or from that midfield area to release these guys, because these guys are quick. They can all run. They've all got an eye for goal. They need more service. And the more you get an Iwobi turned and playing balls through, it'll scare the life out of defences. And then what do? They go 10 yards back, and now you're controlling the game.
The other thing as well, Kev, with obviously Gabaman is out injured, has been injured, and is working his way back. He's in training. If Everton were to get a central midfield player on loan who can do that job, it means we can ease him in, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Half an hour here and there, and there's no pressure on him because we've got a lad here who's doing it anyway.
That's right.
And we can introduce you, because let's be honest, we've got to build him up for next season.
Of course
now,
you do. Of course you do.
And obviously Gomez as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see both of them back training and working their way back in. But the need is now, because I truly believe if you get one or two in there, I truly believe Everton, with the way they're going, because the defence seems to be quite solid now, quite set. They can push on, especially in the second half. They can really push on, and that's what it needs. Look, Carlo Ancelotti's not stupid. He said the team ain't playing the way I want them to. That Napoli side qualified, and they're a good side. They beat Liverpool. Beat them, didn't they?
3 times, in 2 years.
Exactly. So he knows what he wants. He knows how to do it. He knows the players he needs to do it. So that ruthless, we're going to start seeing that ruthless Ancelotti coming out, I think.
And the other side of it as well is having the options to come off the bench as well, because that's the other thing we've seen recently is you haven't got those options to replace your better players. You can't affect the game later on, and we know how important that is as well. we've just come off a game, obviously with a couple of goals in the last minute. But the likes of West Ham at the weekend, if we'd had someone coming off the bench who can influence it late on, play like for like, then we can nick that game at the end. And that's where, because I don't want to talk anyone down. We've got the players to win the games. But if you haven't got the replacements coming off the bench, or you look at the bench and go, it's Niasse, he's not the quality we need.
Yeah.
Or even a midfielder. You look at the bench the last couple of games, we've got any midfielders on the bench.
That kid's on the bench.
So for me, I mean, that's another thing you need is
beef the squad up.
Beef the squad up, the ability
but
to
with quality.
That's it. Is there any other positions you think, Baz?
I mean,
that are desperate.
I wouldn't say desperate. Right wing, someone, because at the moment Theo's our only real option who we're playing there. But obviously Richarlison can go out there and he's done a great job near the end of the season out there. Could Gordon go and play out there? I don't know. Iwobi, but then Iwobi could play there if he does what. But if he does what Bernard does, what Kev was saying,
drifts inside.
If he comes in, if Sidibe's the right back and is going on the outside of I know.
Every time you say Sidibe, he's the most erratic player.
He is, but he's got 5 assists. He's got loads of quality.
But do you know? And Carlo Ancelotti done this against Burnley when he pushed him forward.
Yeah.
And Seamus played right back. And that right side's solid because both of them play full back, and both Seamus loves getting forward. Put a great delivery in the box for Calvert-Lewin to score against Burnley. So maybe from full-back position is not what is needed. Maybe he will play a little bit further forward if obviously Walcott's not doing the business and he want to be a lot more solid. But I think Iwobi, he gives you different options playing on the right-hand side. He might not be running down the wing to cross balls, but with him drifting inside, he'll get balls inside and he'll start probing between players. And Calvert-Lewin and Moise Keane and Richarlison, their eyes will light up because they know he's a assist guy. He would love to pass it to them to score. So
that probably wouldn't negate that need. But like Kev, a centre midfield play, we're absolutely desperate for it because Gylfi's too slow. Good technical footballer, but he can't get around the pitch. Schneiderlin is all right, but again, he can't get around the pitch. Delph is a sitter.
They're all very similar.
They're all similar. Tom Davis isn't agile enough, or he's another sitter.
You need some dynamism in the midfield, don't you? You need. Have you ever seen? I think Tom Davis was probably the last person who run into the box. Against Man City, run into the box and got on the end of something and put it, and that's 3 years ago. This has to be happening regular. If you're serious about progressing this football team, midfielders need to score.
Yeah, they do.
Because that's the difference, whether you sit where you are or you start to challenge the so-called fancy teams of the division. Because you can't always rely on your strikers. Can't always rely on his strikers, and it might just be a midfielder pops up, you go a goal up, and then all of a sudden they have to open up, and then you could start releasing your strikers. That's the name of this game.
Isn't it being only striker since Duncan took over who scored our goals?
Apart from Michael. Yeah, Michael Keane was the last non-striker. That was the game before.
So since Duncan and Carlo took over, only our Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, and then obviously Moise Keane.
I'll tell you one I would love to go and get. He's sitting on Juventus' bench, is Aaron Ramsey. And you will have seen a lot of him at Arsenal, and obviously he loves Arsenal, but I'm surprised Arsenal
actually... Playing a 2 though.
No, but I think, how many times you see Dean pull the ball back to the penalty spot? And he's the kind of player, isn't he, that would be in there. I'm surprised actually Arsenal haven't got back in for him to bring him back on loan or something like that.
Probably on his too much money at the minute.
That's the killer,
and sometimes that's the issue.
Yeah.
Because when these guys go on a free, obviously they can beef up the contract because there's no transfer fee, and somebody like Aaron Ramsey would have been like 50 million quid or something like that. So you can, the package is really good
like
for them.
300 grand.
Some reports 400. And then when you're earning that sort of money, fair enough. There's no transfer fee, so you deserve it.
Yeah. But how do you get them on loan then?
How do you get them on loan? And Juventus are going to say, well, you're going to have to cover his wage.
Yeah. But even if Juventus went, you'd cover 50%.
Cover 50%. That's still 200 large. You know what I mean? It's a lot of bread.
Large.
It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money.
It is.
It's a lot of money. So Carlo Ancelotti has to pick carefully, and I think he will.
There's a man in France there. Ibrahim Sangare, who's absolutely brilliant, plays for Toulouse, 6'4", gets about the pitch, strong, only 21. They reckon 18 million gets him. I don't know whether Everton could do a deal with Toulouse and say we'll buy him in the summer for 20 million, but we want him on loan now or whatever. But he would be one who he's a bit like the Corey, only he's better defensively. Yeah. At 21, it's a great age, and we need that physicality. I think.
Miss it.
Pace,
definitely miss it. Yeah,
and he will be someone.
If we could get one in with the Premier League being so close, where do you think Everton could finish if we could get that player in?
I'd say top 8.
Okay.
Because I look at who's above them. I look at who's around vying for Champions League spots. There's a lot of teams up there now. There's a lot of teams. Some of the teams are going to fall away. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying Everton need to do business now.
Yeah.
Because some of them teams have European, like the Wolves and stuff like that. They have Europa League and all that kind of thing. And that's going to test the team. There's going to be a lot of games back-to-backs and stuff like that. And they kind of fell away back in the last season. And I'm thinking, there's more games with the Europa League. So that could possibly happen. Everton just have to be ready. And I know what Everton finished 8th last season. And it's solely because of the way they finished the season last season, beating a lot of the big boys at Goodison, and they had a fantastic running. Everton need to do it again. And can they do it? Yes, but Everton need a bit more quality in that centre of the pitch.
I think you're right.
Well, definitely. Well, we've no game this weekend. I think we've got a couple of games, and then there's a break again. And there'll probably be another break because of the internationals and probably because of the FA Cup. Yeah. So there are breaks, and it will allow us to get players back. It will allow Carlo Ancelotti to get more plays on the training field. So I think the European places are definitely there.
We're
because
4 points behind 5th.
I know, and we should be 2.
Should be 2. And that's the crazy thing about the league. And I always have this saying in football: if you're gonna go into the transfer market, go into the transfer market in a position of strength.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And right now you're in a position of strength. You're only 5 points. I mean, one win and a loss changes everything because they feel Everton breathing down the neck. And that's what's got to be done. That's what Everton have to do. So, as I say, I really believe Carlo Ancelotti is going to be working in the background to get 1 or 2 players in. I really think so.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. But I think it'll only really happen in the last 48 hours, because that's when the quality players who aren't getting in are like, to their agents, can you get me anywhere?
Listen, it's happening now. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean...
It's happening now, but the deal will be done.
Yeah, because they're going, can we get out? Can I get out of here? And because it's my last opportunity before... If I don't get out now, I'm here till the summer without playing. Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting.
There you go. Big thanks to Kev for coming in.
It was great to be finally I'm making it into the studio.
Great to have Kev on. I mean, we might have the Piv back next week, Andy.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Depends what Kev's doing.
Yeah.
Get me back in.
We'll get you back in soon. Anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast. Super Kevin Campbell. You can find him on Twitter at
#1 Kevin Campbell.
Get him followed.
He's doing a few bits for Arsenal Fan TV as well. We love the lads down there. We love Robbie. So check him out on there as well. And we'll be back next week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.